Losing body fat before building muscle is a big mistake. Most strict diets and extreme training plans may rapidly burn body fat, but it often causes guys to lose their muscle mass and then regain the body fat as soon as they have one cheat meal or miss a couple of workouts. So I'm going to show you how to burn up to 8 pounds of body fat in 4 weeks and keep it off while you build up muscle. And you don't need to starve yourself. You don't have to hit the gym at 5 a.m. every morning or waste hours on the treadmill every day. But I would not recommend trying to lose more than 8 pounds of body fat in 4 weeks, and you'll see why in a sec. Did you know us humans are kind of like robots? I mean, robots run off a battery which contains energy, and us humans also have a battery that contains energy. It's called body fat. This fat energy is stored all around of our body and mostly in our torso, around our chest, our belly and our hips. It's stored here for later use. However, unlike a battery that has a limited storage capacity, our body can continue to store more and more and more fat far beyond what we actually need to survive and function. So a man's body that has a high level of fat is kind of like if you charged up a battery, but the battery had no limit and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger the longer you left it on charge. Kind of like if we just keep eating and eating and eating, we're gonna get fatter and fatter. So this means we need to start shrinking the battery and burning off more and more body fat to get lean. And I'm about to show you the easy way to do that. That any guy's body fat that is above 20% has a much higher risk of metabolic disease, inflammation, low testosterone, sleep apnea, and many other potential illnesses. But if Jeff Bezos at age 60 can get and maintain a ripped jack body while running one of the biggest companies in the world, then reaching a lean and healthy body fat percentage of say 13% is achievable for you too, even with a hectic, busy schedule and no matter your age. But I can't guarantee you'll make $192 billion when you get abs like Bezos. This next thing is important, so please save this in your brain. 1 pound of body fat, which is the equivalent of 0.45 kilograms, is equal to 3,500 calories of energy. So imagine if we wanted to gain 2 pounds of pure body fat in 1 week, we would then need to eat 7,000 more calories than we would normally burn in 1 week. However, you're watching this because you want to lose body fat. Therefore, we must do the opposite. This means we need to eat 7,000 less calories across a week. So the simple way of calculating this is to divide 7,000 calories by 7 days, which equals 1,000 calories less per day. So just consume 1,000 less calories per day. Easy enough, right? Well, if it was so easy, you would already be ripped and so would everyone else. So eating 1,000 calories less is just one option. But something weird happens when we suddenly stop eating a lot of food. Firstly, 1,000 calories is a lot of food. For example, it could be 2 whole meals plus a snack or 2 large meals combined. So the problem is when we suddenly drop calories, our digestive system is highly intelligent and connected to our brain. So it knows that less energy is going into our body. And this is driven by 2 hormones, which we'll cover in a minute. So this is why when we drop a lot of calories too quick, the cravings hit, our energy drops, working out gets tougher, and we may experience headaches, hunger pangs, and feel unsatisfied after each meal, or be sniffing around for snacks 1 hour after eating a meal. And studies have shown that as we eat less food, our body automatically tries to slow us down even more. And it does this by fidgeting less, standing up less, walking less, talking less, and all this happens without us even noticing. This happened to me when I competed in bodybuilding because I dieted so hard that I felt like a zombie. I had no energy, brain fog, struggled to focus, and practically zero libido. And secondly, there is another side effect. I mentioned before that there's 2 hormones that affect our hunger, appetite, and energy expenditure. The first hormone I like to think of as like this greedy little gremlin that lives inside of our gut that wants us to eat more food. And this hormone, this little gremlin, is called ghrelin. So if we suddenly eat a lot less food, our body is going to release more ghrelin, making us more hungry. However, after we eat a satisfying meal, the second hormone is released. And this hormone tells our brain that we're satisfied and we're full and we have enough energy, you can slow down and stop eating now. This hormone is called leptin. I like to think of leptin as like the soldier that comes to fight this ghrelin gremlin in our stomach that's trying to make us eat more food. Because leptin suppresses our hunger and makes us feel satisfied. Here's the catch. If we rapidly cut out a third or more food that we normally eat like overnight, our digestive system and brain will notice and will release more ghrelin to make us feel more hungry. And because we're eating less food, there's less leptin getting released, which means there's less leptin fighting this hormone of ghrelin to make us feel satisfied. And this is a problem because a lot of busy guys in their 30s who are overweight, working long hours, eating out often, or relying on the missus to prepare and make all their food, it's common to eat between 2,300 to 3,000 calories per day. And this range is what's making them fatter over time or stuck at an overweight body fat level. So then tomorrow, if you just cut out 1,000 calories, that's like a 30 to 43% drop overnight. I mean, look, you can do that if you want, but if you want to drop 8 pounds of fat in 4 weeks and keep it off, I would do my best to elevate my energy burn at the same time. Because bro, I want to eat as much food as I possibly can while burning off the body fat, and I don't want to feel starved all day. And the workouts will also tie into this, and we'll discuss that in a minute. But for example, let's assume that I was burning 2,000 calories per day. And that's okay, but it's not great. And any guy can burn 2,000 calories per day, even if they work at home full-time with 4 kids and travel every month. So what's better is elevating my calorie burn from 2,000 up to 2,400, which is easy to do. It just means we have to get off our ass every hour and move around a little bit. You maybe take a short walk in the morning before sitting down, a quick walk after lunch, take some phone calls with your headphones on, get a quick little dog walk in, take the kids to the park before or after dinner. It's not hard to do if you spread it across the day. So then when you burn this extra 400 calories, awesome. You subtract that from the 1,000 calorie deficit, which means now you only need to bring your calories down by 600 and you get to retain those 400 calories in your diet, which is a solid meal of food. There are also several ways to adjust your diet and shave off more calories without even noticing it. And I'll share more on this in a sec. So by burning more calories while you're eating slightly less, this helps us to burn body fat in a more sustainable approach. Because you can still eat a good amount of food to release more leptin to help fight the ghrelin hunger hormone. But this is just part one of shedding 8 pounds of fat while also building up your muscle mass, which we'll talk about now. This is important because what gives us shape in our body is our muscle mass. And the more muscle mass we have, the higher our metabolism, the easier it is to keep body fat off long term and avoid regaining it. But the fact is, we can't turn fat into muscle, but we can increase our muscle while we drop body fat. And according to the famous researcher and coach, Lyle McDonald, his research has shown that for beginners, it is possible to gain from 1.5 to 2 pounds of muscle per month in the first year of training consistently. And that assumes that you're also eating right, sleeping right, and training properly, of course. But that is a great amount of muscle to build for a beginner or anyone who has not trained for a reasonable amount of time. However, most guys fail to get anywhere close to that 1.5 to 2 pounds muscle per month because they're not training correctly. Like just going to the gym and like following a generic training plan that worked in our 20s, but doesn't work anymore. And especially if you don't have time to hit the gym 5 or 6 days a week, then you need a sustainable training program that you can do only 3 days a week, or worst case, 2 days a week, that will stimulate muscle growth every week consistently, while also fitting it into your busy schedule. This is also why most of my clients, and including me, work out at home, because it's super convenient. And the training protocol I'm about to share with you, I've already tested and proven with my own DEXA scans. Let me show you. So I gained 200 grams, which is about half a pound or just under half a pound of muscle in 1 month. Now, that's not a huge amount, but remember, I'm not a beginner. I've been training hard for years and years and years, and If this was my first month of training, I could have doubled or tripled that muscle gain in just 1 month. So here's what I focused on, which you can model in your own program. Step 1, building more muscle isn't about doing more complicated and fancy exercises, or even training extremely hard, because our muscle growth is a result of repeated micro damage over and over and over. This means that if you do a hardcore session on a Monday, but then you don't train again for 1 to 2 weeks, it's not enough stimulus for our muscles to get stronger. It's kind of like only working 1 day a week, but expecting our business to grow. So instead, we need to schedule just 3 sessions a week, even as short as 30 to 40 minutes, without sacrificing more of your family and business priorities. And the good thing about 3 workouts is it's more flexible. You can train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or even Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. And if you miss a day, you have all this space to make up for it. It just makes it easy to schedule in around your lifestyle. Step 2, studies have shown that if you just hit chest on Mondays, legs on Wednesdays, back on Fridays, for example, that it's not frequent enough to force your muscles to grow stronger and bigger over time. Maybe it worked well for the bodybuilders taking all kinds of steroids, but for us naturals, it just doesn't cut the mustard. Instead, we want to split our body across 3 separate sessions. This doesn't mean hitting bench press and bicep curls 3 times a week, but for example, you could hit incline bench on a Monday, chest flies on a Wednesday, and then dips on a Friday. You're hitting chest 3 times, but from different angles in different exercises, which is enough stimulus to get stronger and bigger, but also not too much that you can't raise your arm or barely move your chest for the rest of the week. However, if you get step 1 and 2 locked in that I just explained, you still won't build much muscle without step 3. Building muscle is a little bit like a video game. We start at level 1, and to level up our character, we have to progressively get better at the game by doing more tougher missions. And these tougher missions are like doing tougher workouts. But guys who struggle to get results often stay on this level 1 and keep repeating level 1 over and over and wonder why they're not progressing to level 2. So for example, if you did 12 reps in week 1, but in week 4, you're still doing 12 reps, I hate to break it to you, but nothing will change because your body is just doing what you can already do. Instead, those reps need to increase week after week. Or you can also add more weight week after week. And this is why I customize every workout for my clients, that every month they're getting stronger and building more muscle while dropping their body fat. But there is a common hurdle that many guys hit even if they're turning up to every session and training perfectly every week, yet not seeing any results. This is because when our body is above 17% body fat, the layer of fat under our skin is thick enough that we can't yet see the muscle gains that we're making. And this is where our nutrition has to step in and save the day. Remember how I mentioned about shaving off more calories without actually noticing it? Well, this is a result of eating the right foods that also release more leptin to suppress the hunger hormone ghrelin and fight that little gremlin in our stomach. And there are several easy ways you can do that in this video right here, where I explain the impact of different foods on our metabolism and digestion, which helps us burn more body fat and stay fuller for longer. Go take a look now.